Hey folks, haven't put up a full-length video in a couple days. I've been recovering from a small little tear in the meat suit, but it's patched up, it's healing, we're good. It's just made it so that, like many of you, I'm using one hand. It was not from bonsai activities, it was from real farm work. But I got a new tree because I saw it and I said, I have to have this thing. And we're just going to do a quick prune up on it to get it more into the right shape and kind of demonstrate for those of you who are curious. I've got a whole bunch of trees in my mom's property on her farm. They need to be trimmed to look pretty, but also still look like full-size trees. So I'm going to be using as much of bonsai techniques on that as I can. This tree is going to be a good example of how I would do that because I think this has a similar shape in some regards. So I'm going to swing you over and we are going to, whoop, sorry, I'm very clumsy right now. Take a look at this Dwarf Alberta spruce. So now at the base here, it's not anything crazy special. It does have a little bit of movement, but that's not really what I looked at it for. I will do some branch selection in here. But coming up a little further, I've actually got a pretty vertical shoot that comes off of it that I can use as a new leader. Not this one, but this one here, which is my plan because it's a nice looking little tree. You can see a little bit better, I think, from here. So this is the original, and this will be the new leader. And this is where they kind of join right here. So I'll be able to greatly reduce the height of this down, maybe even less than half. See, that's how tall it is right now. It's not super big. It's maybe a foot tall. I think in taking this off, I'll be making a really, really good decision. So that's the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use my branch pruners. Make it in here and take it off. Oof. And I know it's not the best time to be doing any kind of pruning like this, but I think that because we're in the growing season, it'll recover quite nicely. I'm just trying to get myself in a position where I can see. Go. All right. So it's not dead yet. That's a lot of tree that's no longer on there, and it gives me a little bit of movement. So I'm very, very pleased with that ability. This in and of itself isn't very exciting. It's very straight. So it's good to have that gone. This will be my youngest, smallest, whatever you want to call it, of my dwarf Alberta spruce. So that's my cut there. I do need to clean that up quite a bit. So I'll come in and do that. It's my experience with these that they don't really die back. So I'm not concerned with cutting it back almost all the way to a stump. I find they heal really nicely and they don't mind it. So that's okay. Perfect, no, but it's not bad. It also helps me to clean out this crotch here. As many people have said, it's good to keep the crotches airy. So that helps a lot. That's also a whorl, so it's good to get things out of here. Like this does not need to be there. It's going to create some more swelling. This one as well on this side, since it's less vertical. Go ahead and take that off. Now I say less vertical, I don't mean that I want only vertical this high in the tree. But because I've got this nice taper started here with really good branch position on it, for the most part, I'm going to try to stick with that. Now I can keep this one as leader, but for now I'm really not terribly worried. I do have 3 branches here. If I was to take this one off, I could keep this side branch and then use, like this is the leader because it would grow upwards. I better do that now before it causes some swelling around this because it's, going to be a smaller tree. So there we go. Now I get to keep this branch here and my branch positions again. Really nice. I'll leave that one for now. Unless there's any big issues with branches doing that, I'm not worried about it. And up here again, I can go ahead and terminate that. Keep this as the leader. Leaving a pretty nice little apex, even though it wasn't my goal to trim up the apex. That right there is not too bad. I mean, I can do some more work on it, but right now I think I've got it where it's pretty happy and healthy. This one should come off because I've got too many branches there. I've got to select now between these two. This one's a little stronger and it bifurcates. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll leave them both for now. They're so small, it's not a big deal. Now I've got a quite small Alberta spruce with a nice little trunk on it. I'm going to come down, and I don't think I'm going to want any branches this low anyways, so I'm going to come in and just take all this off. I do not know where my root base is, but I do know that these are just all too low. Cut this one off. It was in the soil. It's okay. Again, too low and too low. These are probably also too low, considering, so yeah, those are going to come off. Nice branches, but too low. These as well. Take them off the back. It's way too low. I'm going to leave everything kind of how it is now. I do really like this because it's coming out very horizontal. I'm going to take, there's a little stronger one next to it though. I'm going to take the top off the stronger one here, leaving this bud right there. I'll leave this as well, see which one takes off, but it's my hope that this one does really nicely. All right, and then on the other side here, I've got this one. I don't want that upward facing growth. I do like all this. Don't need this one. It's creating an intersection of 3, I believe. 2, 2. This one's already kind of swooping down, and I'll take off these top ones here at least and let this grow. And I'll take off all the top. So just let this grow. All right, and that one's really close to this one that's coming kind of vertical. The one that's coming kind of vertical is kind of nice. So I'm gonna take off vertical shoot there. And then it's got this other one that comes out the side here, which I do not mind. So I'll leave that as well. We've got this one that's above that. Don't want the little shoot next to it, so I'll take that all out. I've got this one to deal with, which I'll take the bottom off of this one because it's high enough up in the tree that I think I just need the top of it to further my goals. I don't need to be coming down so much. This one too, it's really nice. It's coming up, but I do not need it to swoop per se, so I'll take that off. I'll leave this. That might be a nice leader for the branch in the future. All this kind of looks good. I will take it back to here. So now I've got one on the bottom, 2 coming out to the sides. I think for the sake of movement, I'm going to leave it and see which one takes off. It all looks good. All right. Is that a little, no, that's just stuck in there. Okay. I'm clearing it out pretty nice. I'm not upset about this at all. Got some growth in here that I can just terminate. Ooh. Hopefully I didn't just take everything off there. Nope, I left the one I want to keep, this one, so that's good. It is almost opposite to these, which makes me a little nervous, but not quite opposite. It's just barely on a different plane. So if I put this like this, you barely see it, sorry. You know, a lot of stuff you guys can't see very well. So if I put it like this, this is below, this is above, this is below that again. I put it, so that's kind of my baseline. They're very close together. I think that's okay in this case because they are so different from each other. This one's really funky. Yeah, so I haven't gotten this that high yet. This is a branch off of that. It's kind of underneath this one, but I don't mind it for now. Now from underneath, I'm gonna take this out. Can you see? Yep. And then that's really the bottom half trimmed up. Now I just gotta worry about this whorl and how it behaves. So looking at the balance below that point, you know, all this, things are very much on this side. So I need to keep stuff over here, and I can remove some of the stuff over here. It doesn't need to be all on one plane. It's a big whirl. I like this branch the most, I think. I'm gonna take off, I'll cut this all back first. I'll cut it back and we'll see where we're at. That back to there, this back to, well, these branches don't really flow. So I'm not gonna keep those. Instead with this and this one here, which really got good movement to it. Looks like it's been trimmed. Here's a little baby guy right here, doesn't need to be there. coming up, but I don't mind that. In fact, because of how high in the tree we are, I probably prefer that. Good boy, good girl. The animals are all being good right now. I'm very, very pleased with them. I can probably say goodbye to something over here. All kind of stacked on top of each other. This branch is kind of cranked over. This, branch off of the norm. So I'm going to take it back to there and see if I get something coming back this way. I do have a little bud on top there, so that shouldn't kill it off. Yeah, we'll see what happens as far as movement there. So I'm going to leave long. Need it at all. I don't think I need all these branches. I leave this one. I'm in a good place. I don't love this one enough to keep it, but it's the only one on that level, so I'll leave that. And this one's right above it, so we'll take that out. As nice as that branch is, we're going to take it out. I've got a lot more options here. Again, I want something kind of out the front here. Got all these things here. I think I'm going to take off this highest one, leave this one below it, and then let's see where it's actually coming from. These are on the same level, so one of these has got to go. Now I'm looking at it from the top, which I know you can't see. I think this one's a better branch, so this is coming out. Now this one's higher, I believe. Not by a lot, but slightly. Yeah, that's higher, so that's good. This one down here is lower. As nice as that branch kind of looks, I need to decide if it's good or bad. It's not bad, it's big for this high in the tree, considering where it's at in development, so it's just premature. I'm going to take it off. And it had 2 branches above it. This one's a little higher than the other. So I think I've got to take this one off. Leave this one. Very nice branch where it's at the tree anyways, so I'm happy with that. Very happy with that decision. Stubs. Ooh, up a bit. And some of these are just so nice. It's hard not to be excited about them. And I'll probably change my mind along the way, but I think this is a good trim up so far. It's got good movement. It's got, pretty good branch placement. At least I think so. Yeah. Since I was able to clean up crotches and really shorten the length of the tree and keep quite a bit of movement into it, considering how small it is. It's got quite a bit of good movement. So I think that's where I'm going to stop. I don't think I should do anything else to it. Yeah, it's looking good. Just taking off some of the needles that block view to make sure I'm not doing anything silly. I do have a lot of options up here. I'm really happy about that. In fact, I may just do that. Just kind of make these 2 ladder branches. I need something over here, but I don't need all these things over here. So I think I'll take this one off. So, I have branch headed kind of a different direction there. It makes these ladder branches. I think I need something low. This one is too long for so high up in the tree, so we'll take that off. And there's a whirl up here, isn't there? Ooh. I think I've got to lose the bigger branch. It's kind of are headed in the same direction. Both of those. I'm going to take, now I'm going to leave that to let it grow. Be kind of sacrificial. And I'll probably pick a new leader at some point. This may end up being a new leader here, depending on how it all grows. Because it would be really nice to have that come up and snake in. You can't see, can you? Sorry. Have this come up and then snake over and then back up again. So I think that's where I'm going to stop with this guy. It's looking good. I'm not going to mess with the roots. In fact, I've had experiences that tell me not to mess with the roots on the Alberta spruce because they're usually really, really good. We'll just do a little nub cleanup on these things I cut off earlier, just to make sure they heal nicely. I know that I could leave stubs and do a a bit of deadwood down here, but I don't really like deadwood all the time, and I don't think this tree would suit it, not the way it is. And with my larger trees I was talking about, there'll be a similar pruning method. So they're very tall trees, and I'm going to be picking a smaller, more upright trunk as it goes up. Make sure you can see smaller upright trunk as it goes up in order to create a lot of good taper and to give it lots of strength and stability. Meanwhile, still having a large, mature tree. Here. These branches are all really long, but I think right now I need to let them grow. Um, really pleased with how it's looking. Get to the center if I can so you can see it rotate a little bit better. Make sure you can see all of it. There we go. So yeah, this is why I wanted it. I like this little bit of movement down low, and I love that I can create that kind of movement up top. Again, it may even get more extreme than that, but right now I think this is a good taper for you know where we're at. And I'll try to carve this down as time goes on. For now, I think I'm gonna let it heal over, and then I'll try to take off these edges because this will heal nicely. Do a little more concave action here. There we go. Yeah, so that'll heal really nicely, I believe, and I will have a really, really pretty tree when it's all healed up. Likely the front will be here. In that case, some of these branches will have to go, they'll be terminated or change direction. Um, but unless I can get this to heal up really, really nicely, it's just going to have to be that way. So, thanks for joining me. I'm sure that was a lot longer than it needed to be, but it takes me a little bit longer to move right now. I am still recovering from a tear in the meat suit. Thanks for joining me on TacoBonsai. Cheers, folks.